Hello, welcome to Is What It Is and Gonna Be What It's Gonna Be podcast. Um, I'm Patrice Sanders, and we have Tiffany Joyner here today. Tiffany is going to do the co-hosting today because she has a wonderful topic. The topic today basically is going to stretch on a couple different merits, but it's based off friendship. So we are talking about, is there an expiration date on friendships? Do you believe that you can have a soulmate for friendships versus relationships, as well as can you really ghost a friend? So I'm going to turn it over to Tiffany and we're going to get into the world of friendships. Hey, Tiffany.
Hey, Patrice, how you doing?
It's a good day. It's a hot day, but it's a good day.
All right, it's overcast in LA, but let's get into this topic today because this topic has legs. I
Let's walk with
mean,
it.
legs. Some of them can walk by themselves, and some of them can stand alone, and some of them you just want to sit on the side of the curb and run them over. That's how.
I think
Yeah. So,
I
like
think the
you
last.
said, um, do friendships really have an expiration date? And I brought that up to Patrice because, you know, I kind of had a situation where a good friend of mine, we hang out, we do this, that, and the other. And they went through some life changes, some ups and downs, hey, it is what it is. As my call said, and through those ups and downs, she kind of, like Patrice said, can you ghost a friend? But any other time, when the good stuff is going on, is kid. Everything is a bed of roses.
Yeah.
So, I just really want to know.
So what is it? So what happened in this situation, Tiffany? So you basically you're saying that everything is good as long as the party and as long as the laughter, as long as the kikiing goes, people are good. But what made this one kind of flip the script?
Well, they went through a series of life circumstances. You get backed up in your finances. You can't pay your rent, so you're struggling. And then, through COVID, it was a struggle. And then, they had an ailing parent, and then the parent, consumes majority of their time, so they really can't work, so they're working part-time, and then the parent passes. So then now, you grieving through all this stuff. Now you gotta go out and get a full-time job. So you get a couple of gigs with an agency or whatever, and they work out. And then, with agencies, when the assignment is done, it's done. So
No.
you have to wait for the next one. So sometimes there's a wait in between the next one. And when the next one happened, you kind of get caught up or whatever. But during COVID, you have that you had that they have that allowance where if you couldn't pay, you can do whatever and you pay back or whatever. And it just didn't work out in their behalf. So, along with the grief and all that stuff, I guess it became overwhelming. But when you backed up financially, sometimes your friends can help you out to a certain extent. We can pay a gas bill, electric bill, you need some gas money, try to throw some gas money. We can't totally support you because the economy doesn't allow that, but we can be there for you. So, they had to move, and they tell us the week that they had to move, hey, I need some help. But they knew ahead of time all
Yeah.
this was coming down the pipe. And I think it's not fair to pressure or add that pressure on to someone to help you at a drop of a hat when you already know stuff is going on. But you're not sharing with your friends that you keep hanging out, drinking and doing everything else with. You going to outside sources, and they know more about what's going on than the people you hanging out with. So I'm like, You know, do
That's
you grow past? You grow past your friends, or you don't feel comfortable enough to tell them your highs and your lows? But we're here for you.
That's
So,
a good point. I've experienced that on both ends. I mean, repetitiously, I'll say. I, I have to be careful of using the word friend, but I do have a couple of friends. Well, I have one in specific that, you know, we both go through life situations. As Grace said when she was on the podcast, what, 2 weeks ago, life
yeah.
be life, right?
Mhm.
So we know that we have things that go on. And when it comes down to it, no, I don't know the troubles that this person goes through. I don't know them until it comes time where I say, hey girl, let's go grab a drink, or hey, let's go out to eat. And then all of a sudden it comes up, oh, well, I can't because this, that, and the other, and blah, blah, blah. And I get it. And just like I would tell her, which she's supposed to be on this call today, you know who I'm talking about.
Mhm.
But I get it. And sometimes I try to change the atmosphere of it, you know, hey, well, I got you. I'm good for doing that, and I'm okay with that, because sometimes you just want a person, if something has happened in their life, like what you were explaining, Tiffany, you want to be able to say, you know what, I got you. I understand. Now, like you said, I can't do that all the time, but just to be that supporting factor, because what is friendship if you can't lean on one another? Now,
Right.
we're not saying milk the cow, but what is friendship if you can't do that, right?
Right. I mean, it's even if we kind of, it's, you know, it's about five of us, we could have pulled together something to say, hey, we got this for you for here to buy you more time or do whatever. But you can't help what you don't know.
Yeah. And
So,
then the other part of that story that you were saying is this. I don't want to look on social media and see that you out here brunching it and ladies' night it and all this other stuff. You got on 3 new fits, but you sitting up
right,
here complaining because you can't buy yourself a hamburger, or the electricity's about to be turned off. That I feel for you, but I'm not that crutch. I can't do
right,
that. Should have thought about that, you know, because we're adults now. When we were
right,
in college and in high school, or whatever you want to classify it as, those were little misses. I mean, because we were all
mhm,
doing it, right? But
right,
as adult women, you have to know where your priorities lie.
right.
You have to.
Yeah. And I think, you know, you can't buy everything that you see and everything that you want, but you know, you treat yourself. Hey, if it takes to you treating yourself every 3 months, buy yourself something nice that you want, then structure it that way. You can put $50 up for each month for 3 months, and you have $150. Blow it on a pair of shoes or a top, or dress, or a night out on the town, you know? I
And
mean,
I think a good deal of us have gone through situations, and I don't know, Tiffany. It sound like you may not have, because I know you're good with your money. You're a
oh,
stickler when it comes
honey,
to your
no,
money.
oh no, I went through it. Honey, let me tell you. But I saw, I didn't see when it was happening, but I
Mhm.
was in my youth. When
Right.
you first go to college, you sign up, you walking through the quad area, you see everybody, they have them credit card companies lined up.
Yeah.
I had, for some reason, I end up with two of everything that was out there.
2 was good.
Two,
You were super good
two. No, no,
then.
no, two. And I didn't understand that, yeah, they set this thing up where, hey, you buy now, pay later, but you only pay a percentage later. So you keep buying and buying and buying. And I was like, oh, well, this one's used up. I got two of them. It has a different account number. I charge this up. I charge all those cards up to the max. Then when they were talking about paying, okay, it's $20 for each one, $10, $15. I'm a student. once I pay all that, I'm like, okay, I don't have my rent money and I don't have my electricity money. And I was rooming with 4 other girls
So
in
what
college.
did you
Yeah,
have to do?
girl, that's when that hustle mentality kicked in. I was like, oh, I'm
Okay.
gonna have to get a side gig.
Or else
And that's
shit,
when the side gig started.
that's when it started.
I'm like, they were calling me and bugging me, and I'm like threatening me. And I didn't know back then they couldn't do that until
Yeah.
someone said, you tell them stop calling you. They can only correspond with you via mail. Oh, why did they tell me that? Every time I was like, you do not call me. Send me a letter. So I'm getting letters on letters on letters on letters. And I'm like, oh my God. So then my mom told me, hey, I was almost finishing up and I was like, I wanted to take a semester off. And she said, no, don't do that. I said, no, I need to take a semester off. I need to take a semester off because I was so much in debt trying to catch up. So
What
she was
happened,
like, well,
what happened with the people that was in your, that you were owing the money to, which are your friends, because you were
no,
dividing.
these were credit cards at the time. No, I
No, no,
made
no,
sure.
no, 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 I'm not talking about the accounts right now. I'm talking about, since we're talking about, the friendships, the people that you had to pay your rent to. Were you sharing room and board, or these were
Yeah,
your own?
we had a 2-bedroom apartment and it was 2 girls in each room. So
So,
we just
were,
split the rent.
were you ever late? And if so, did that impact your relationship with them?
Oh, no. That's
Okay.
one thing. That's one thing. I didn't pay them credit card. That's why they would call me. I paid my rent. I knew enough the I got to pay where I lay.
Good.
And
Good.
I got smart because I used to work in the library. I started
Good.
working in the student union in the food section.
So
So I
that
didn't
way,
have to buy no more groceries. So they
because
tried
because
Tiffany.
because there are relationships now where some people they get ruined because people aren't paying what they owe. There are
Right.
there there are and this kind of goes into the, can you ghost a friend? Is it really ghosting if you are, if, because ghosting is what, when you meet somebody and you talk to them and things may be cool and you hit it off, you might even have a one night stand, and then the next day you don't talk to them anymore, right? So
Right.
can you do that with a friendship? Can you ghost a friendship? Do you think you
Yeah.
can ghost?
Yeah, they do it all the time. They that refers back to, like, my friend that had the situation going on, and then all of a sudden, she's reaching out to outside folks, and the
Mhm.
outside folks know me, and they're like, they calling me and saying, what's going on? What's going on? And I'm like, I have no clue because I have not discussed anything with them. They're like, well, XYZ has happened and this is going on. And I said, well, she chose not to share the information with me. So therefore, I don't know. And I'm going to pretend that I don't know the information because it has not been shared with me. So I think you need to take on that responsibility or whatever. I can give you a suggestion, but that's about it. And they were like, really? So did you guys fall out? And we're like, no, she chooses not to share that part with me or with her other friends that we're supposed to be, besties or hanging out and, our small little intimate clique that, we got each other, but no, she ain't got us. Because
I think that's a mixture of both. That could be a mixture of ghosting, as well as, should we put a shelf life on this, or is that
yeah,
an
yes,
expiration date of that particular relationship? I
right.
in my relationships, and I'll say this with my best friend. I mean, we've known each other since our kids were in diapers, like 3, 4, 5-month-old diapers. And we have had a lot of ghosted moments. We have had a lot of moments where it seemed like our expiration date had passed. I mean, the milk had curded, everything. But
Mhm.
to this day, our kids are pretty much almost practically on their own. Driving, graduated, working for themselves.
Mhm.
And we still, I'll tell anybody, that's probably the only person in this world, even my family, that's living, because my mother would have been the other person, my mother and my father, but she's probably the only person that knows me in and out, good and bad. So
Well,
sometimes when something happens, I will call her and I will ask her for her opinion on things. And I could be mad at her. She could be mad at me, but she will answer. If she's mad at me, she will answer. Her outlook, she's not going to do like I do. If I'm upset with her, what tends to happen, honestly, I won't pick up the phone. If she texts me, I won't even reply back. So that's ghosting for me. So I say, yeah.
well, yeah, yeah. I have experienced that with Miss Patrice when she doesn't quite like some of the stuff I say. She's like, I have to give her 50 feet. And then Patrice will call and say, Tiffany, I didn't quite agree with you on that. So I had to sit back and think about it. But I dealt with it and I'm like, okay now. And I tell Patrice, I already figured that out. I figured she'll call when she has to work through it her own way. But see, to me, that's being a mature adult to understand how the dynamic of relationships work. You don't have to always be in someone's face 100% or agree with them 100%. You can have your opinion and your thoughts. And sometimes you have to step back to settle in and see their point of view, not change your point of view, but see their point of view and understand and be like, okay, I can live with that. And that's fine. Because I mean, I have a girlfriend that we known each other since I was 15, she was 13. And we're still friends to this day. She had moved all over LA, California, and up, down, and sometimes we don't see each other for years, but when we see each other, you would think like we saw each other yesterday. We pick up from where we left off like that. And to me, that's a true friendship. You go through
It
highs
is.
and lows and
Yeah.
ins and outs, and I'm sure during her lifetime and in my lifetime, I have not shared all my ups and downs and my woes, but she knows some of the key points of stuff that went on, and I know some of hers. And to
Yeah.
me, that I'm good with that, you know.
I
So
agree. I agree with what you just stated. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I think that's what adds the most value to any relationship. The fact that it's not perfect and you
right,
can still work through it. Because
yeah,
with friendships, like Tiffany said, I don't agree with a lot of things that Tiffany says. And there's a lot of things that I do agree with. But because of the fact that she is a friend that challenges me, I'm she's an alpha female. I like to say I'm an alpha female. So yeah, right off I'd be like, I got to go. And I might get off the phone, but trust and believe, after it marinates, after it sits in up here, then I'll pick up the phone. Tiffany, I'm sorry. Now you was right about such and such, and I'll tell her that. But to me, I think that's what you really call growth, and I
right.
appreciate me for that. I love her for that. I don't want a yes man as a friend. I don't want somebody that's always going to
No,
agree. Yeah, I want
right,
somebody.
and I see Patrice's points of view on sometimes, and like I said, I don't always agree, but I'm one of those, I agree to disagree, and I absorb it, and I'll just kind of figure it out and see that point of view later. And I'm like, and I just roll with it because I'm not into changing people.
Yeah,
It is what it is. It's gonna
gonna
be what
be
it's
what it's
gonna
gonna
be.
be. And
And I'm like, and
don't let me
huh?
get on a tangent. I say, don't let me get on a tangent, because then I'll hear Tiffany, because I'll be gone and blah, blah, blah. And then Tiffany will be like, well, wait, Patrice. No, wait, Patrice. And then I have to come down. I'll be like, yes. And I won't lie. I'll give you this much, Tiffany, and I'm admitting this one time. I'll never say this again, but a lot of those times Tiffany be right. I mean,
And what do I tell you? I'm not trying to be right. I just want you to see the point of view, just to have that other side, you
yeah,
know. And I tell people that all the time. It's not about being right.
yeah.
I sometimes you just really want to be heard. And
That's a
that's different.
that's a
Right, and being heard and understood
that's
is
a
it's another one of them legs I said. You know, this topic has a lot of legs, you know.
So why don't you read, I want you to read, if you have that pulled up, I want you to read off those captions that you sent to me. That was what posted by Oprah. Do you have that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Let me see. Let me
So,
move this over.
because they are such good points,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I want Tiffany to read these out, and as she's reading it, I want you guys to think about it. Post a comment, let us know how you feel about it. Because my first reaction on a lot of these relates to so many relationships that I've gone through from a friendship point of view. Go ahead, Tiffany.
Right. I'm just going to read the heading on all of them because they have little paragraphs up underneath. They may be a little too long.
Okay.
So the first one says, do you give 100%, but your friend gives 0? Uh-oh, did it move? Okay, let me go to the next one. And then number 2, I had to maneuver with this little thing. Okay, your texts go unanswered, or you find yourself avoiding them. That's that ghosting type situation.
Yeah.
Mhm. And then her number 3 is, there are no boundaries or ways. There are no boundaries or ways too many. What is that? Boundary essential. I might have to read this one. It says boundaries are the essential components to any successful relationship, but sometimes a friend doesn't respect the boundaries. That's what they mean.
So
Okay.
are there too little boundaries, or are there too many
Too
boundaries?
many, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think I might fall up under that category where people see me as having too many boundaries because I'm a little on the OCD side, but go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So let's see. Number 4 is, let's see. Oh, each time I touch the screen, it keeps moving away from me. Let me see. Okay. You don't want to share your wins and falls. See, that situation right there is when, like, I think my girlfriend, she's going through something. She didn't want to tell us her win or her fall, and I think that's kind of jacked up. So let's see. And
Well,
this is the last one. Mhm.
okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. You outgrown who you were in the past. That's big.
Those are all really good topics, or good perspectives when it comes to friendship. So I want to go back to the one that's you text. Wait a minute, that's the first one. Oh, the first one. You give 100%, but your friend gives 0%. So I want to put something out there. I'm a person, and I'm speaking about how some other people are. I know there are some people, and there's quite a few actually. Sometimes it makes me feel bad, that get up and they will run and they will go no matter what the situation is. If somebody calls on them, they're there. They could be an hour away, 2 hours, and they're there. I don't have that oomph. I get totally discombobulated if I'm in a routine and something busts my routine. It's just me. I think that's the OCD in me, the person who likes to have things, like this or like that. I've never been in the military. I don't know why I'm like that, but I lose it. I cannot handle things when they're like that. My sister, she's a person who can go. Rashawn, founder of Phenomenal Women, she's a person who can just go and just they can stop what they're doing literally and just tend to other things as needed. Me, I'm not as fluid in that essence, but if you text me and you say, hey, or if you call me and you say, hey, I need this. Now, I'm not good at last minute stuff. That's where that whole discombobulation comes in, but I will do the very best of what I can. And I'll even come back 2 weeks later or a week later and, hey, you okay? Can I do this for you? But to just stop the presses, and I'm not a jumper. I can't do that. What about you?
Sometimes I can do that because I have siblings sometimes that need help at the last minute. So Me and my older sister are kind of like the fixers. So I just kind of stay semi-prepared for whatever.
But what
And
about
then
friendships? What if one of your
friend,
homegirls would
well, to us, I can jump to a certain extent, but you have to be willing to jump for me as well. So
that's a good
I
point.
do have some friends that will. If I call, Johnny on the spot, on the spot, because they
That's good.
know Tiffany is always the peacemaker in any situation when we out and about, and even when we're just socializing a group of folks or whatever. You know, how guys always trying to tag somebody, oh, you this or you that or you that, and they always look at me and they're like, oh, so you keep them in line because I see they act up. You must be the peacemaker. And I just laugh and they were like, yep, yep. And all my friends say, oh yeah, yeah, that's the conscious one. She keeps us in line, because if not, uh it'll be 0 to 100, and I'm like, you guys can't do that. We're older now. Come on now. But I'm still that same person, always been.
I have one person who would, and that would be my ex. Um, at least I like to think that he would. And I would do the same for him. We may not have been good as a couple, but I can say as a friend, he was a good friend.
Mhm.
When it comes to those type of things. So okay, so on to the next one. The number two said your texts go unanswered or you find yourself avoiding them. And we talked about that, the ghosting. Now I told you I am good when it comes to that. You guys pray for me. God is not through with me yet, but if something goes down and I'm upset, I'm upset. And I'm not going to say it's really a grudge, because after I get over the upset part, it's just I don't care. But as far as room in my life, now you've shown me who you are. So either, the saying, live with it or don't, right?
Right,
Okay,
right,
well,
right.
I choose not to. So if there's some bullshit in the mix, I'm gonna tell you right now, you can text me or call me all day long. I'm not gonna answer. What about
Yeah.
you, Tiff?
See, I'm water on the duck's back.
Yeah.
Once it's over and done, I ain't said what I said. It's water on it doesn't bother me anymore. Texting, calling, or whatever. You can call me and I'll be like, what's up? I get over stuff because I already know I have to be forgiving because we have a forgiving God. And I've always been that way, and I've always been blessed that way. I'm like, I ain't gonna let you mess up my blessing because I got a good one coming up. And each time something major or something happens like that goes against me, oh, I'm blessed 100%. I win every single time, and it's
Well,
always
pray
been
for
major.
me. Pray for me, baby, because
Always been major wins.
look, I don't have that type of oomph. I don't have it yet. So pray for me.
Oh, yeah, yeah, okay, okay, okay. I'm gonna pray, Lord Jesus, work with her.
Release her. Okay, so number three, there are no boundaries or there are way too many. Well, you already know my relationship with people when it comes to filth, Tiffany. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I would be that person that probably she's laughing. She's laughing, y'all. This is a moment where I do not agree with Tiffany. So I have a little bit of an issue when it comes to uh I'm not excessively OCD, but I am OCD. I like an order. I like, as I just stated, my routines. And when it's beyond that, if there's something filthy, then I have ended friendships because somebody did not take care of something in my house good, or I may have seen how they lived, and I don't hold that against them. It's not that I don't like the person, but that's not my environment. Stop laughing, Tiffany. It's
I'm
not.
trying to hold it in. Because, okay, let me get this part out. So, Patrice, we're in two different cities, in two different states. I'm
Yeah.
in LA, California. She's in Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
Patricia's like, Tiffany, come on down, girl, come on down. You can stay with me. I told her no. I need a hotel nearby. She's like, why? I'm not that bad. I said, no, I said, you ain't gonna cuss me out because I didn't went into the bathroom, washed my hands, and I didn't wipe the sink out, and it's a spot of water down in that drain. I said, we're not gonna fight over that. No, we're not. No, we're not. I'm gonna say, hey, come over, and be like, 11:35. I'm like walking to the car. I ain't staying over there till midnight. That's the next day. She ain't gonna say, this girl stayed over there till the next day. She don't know how to go home. 11:35. Bye. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it because I already know she a little OCD. So OCD people have to have their routine. They have to do what they need to do. And 11:35 gives her enough time to go in and go disinfect everything I ain't touched because I already know how she is. Before she go home and she had her own home before she go in her room to lay her head down. She got to wipe, touch, and disinfect everything I ain't touched. I ain't sat next to, lean against the wall, touch the doorknob, door handle, I already know.
I'm laughing, but Tiffany is 150% right. She's in California, I'm here in Houston, but she knows me too. Between her and Aisha, they know me like the back of my hand when it comes to that part of my life. And again, I've never been in the military, so I don't know why I'm like that, but yeah, so I would definitely be that person with probably too many boundaries.
Yeah, and see, I have boundaries too, but I'm kind of laxy-daisy. I'm like, hey, if you hear when you hear, but believe me, when you leave, I turn OCD too. Be like, they out. I wipe down the walls, the doors, the doorknobs, the handles. I may even go and replace the toilet seat. So I'm just saying,
Now, I've
it's
thought
just
about that a couple of times myself,
yeah, yeah.
and I will not lie to you guys. I keep a spare toilet seat in my little supply closet that I do. I will not lie.
Oh no, I don't have a spare one. I would Home Depot down the street. They
Yeah,
got 50
it's
million,
still wrapped
thousand,
up.
trillions of them.
Yeah, it's still wrapped up. I
Mhm,
bought it. Yeah, it's still wrapped up. Hasn't been installed or anything, but just in
mhm.
case,
Right. Uh-huh.
it's there.
Yeah. Because you never can. Somebody might come over and have a major blowout. I'm not
You
cleaning
just
that.
never know.
No. It's going in the trash, in the bag, and then
Yeah,
home.
I make
Home.
sure I got the kind that just clip in there, just
Right. Uh-huh. Yeah, the clip-on those are very. I even when I clean my toilet, I unclip it and I clean it. Yeah. Because I
That's what I'm
make.
talking about. See, that's
Yeah.
why
See, but see, I understand. That's why I understand because I make bleach water in the tub and I have to clean that down and disinfect it and clean that all off and then I let it dry out and I put it back and then once I do all that then I gotta go and disinfect the tub because the toilet seat was in there to clean it. So it's like yeah.
I told you to use denture tabs, but we'll get on all those
Oh
little
yeah,
hacks.
yeah. I haven't
Okay.
went down there to go get them yet, but still, that's my routine of cleaning my toilet. So I got to.
Okay, so what would be an example of somebody who has no boundaries? I would look at that as a friendship with no boundaries would just be, now this has happened to me, it's caught me off guard a couple of times, but it's happened to me with friends where you'll be out in public somewhere and friends will bring up something that should not be, as they say, when you bring
Mm-hmm.
stuff, hey, that's family stuff. We don't go outside with that. There are certain things in a friendship or in any relationship that should never be discussed or handled outside, right? So I would say that there were no boundaries there, but also in those situations that I'm speaking about, I would say that there were no boundaries because there were some jugs being being thrown. But that would be my example of no boundaries. So
Yeah, we have a girlfriend like that tends to bring up, because we have Zoom calls every 2 weeks, just with us to touch in, because everybody's busy, and I got 75,000 jobs. So
yes, you do.
so they try to catch up, be like, okay, where you at now? I'm like, well, I'm doing this. They're like, okay, we'll schedule this. I'm like, okay, let me put it on the calendar because I forget. And then she'll, when we get together, we have gatherings or whatever, friends come up and play, Pekino cards and, just shoot the shit sometimes. She'll bring up stuff that we talk about on our Zoom. We'll be like, it's time for you to go in the bathroom. She was like, I ain't got to go pee. You got to go in the bathroom right now. And she know, shut up.
That's about you gotta go to the bathroom. So y'all just send her to the bathroom just because.
Right, yes. Send her to leave the room. You need to go to the bathroom. I ain't gotta go to the bathroom. Yes, you do right now. And then she goes, oh, okay. She get up and she go. And give her time. If you're gonna say something, say it in the bathroom with nobody else and then come back out if you want to have diarrhea in the mouth. Come on now.
That's your time to talk when you're in the bathroom.
Oh yeah. Because when she go in there, somebody else is going in and they'll be like, look, bitch, shut up. And then she'll look all wide eyed like, I didn't say nothing. Yes, you did. We don't want you to talk. We're not talking about that tonight. And she'll go, oh, okay. She come back and straighten up and be like, okay.
So yeah, no boundaries at all. I agree. Okay. The next one, you don't want to share your wins or fails. There are specifically, almost every relationship that I've had as far as friends have outgrown because of this. There are times when you want to be excited for yourself. You want to be excited even for the friendships and whatnot that you have. There are some moments where you want to there are some moments where you may actually want to share a downside that, we're in that platform, that campaign platform of mental behavior, right? And how everybody, no matter who you are, is experiencing it, or going through things. So sometimes when there is a fail, sometimes there's an opportunity for a conversation to support another person, or to try and encourage them or uplift them, right? So you should have equal opportunities of wins and equal opportunities of fails to be able to discuss with your friend. Me, when I say have outgrown, early on in my youth, I had a lot of fails. Okay. And I mean a lot of fails, people, you name it, whatever you want to call it, from just about everything that a person could kind of go through, right? But things turned around once I woke up and got a hold of my own life. And then that's when those blessings start to come out, when you've realized that what you were doing wasn't working, so now you've got to do something else, or as they say now, you got to try God, right? So right. So I've had more wins. I would say my youth was most of my fails. So my life now, I don't want anything but wins. If it's a fail, then I'm making a U-turn or I'm detouring. I don't want to fail. I want, even if it's the smallest of a win, but I have found that you cannot share every win with a person because people take that as you being boastful. People also take that and then
they get jealous.
That's what I was just going to say. Yeah, they get very jealous and envy. And I have gone through things where people have changed their whole outlook, their whole personality, whatever, just changed on me, like changing underwear.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And at first I didn't realize what was going on until somebody else pointed it out. And now I get it. I see the pattern now. And when I see that pattern, I move around because I know that I've outgrown that particular conversation.
Right. And I've gotten this from my loan officer when I was purchasing my first duplex.
Mhm.
And he told me, he said, it's exciting now. It's, he said, it's a major accomplishment. You did it all on your own. You didn't have no help, no signers, no nothing. And
Mhm.
you closed in 19 days. He said, that's a record in this economy right now. Unless people come with a cash offer, you're not closing that fast. He said, but you were willing to do the course and have your ducks in a row to close. So yeah, celebrate that win. He said, but he said, after this 6 months, this excitement, this adjustment, he said, stop telling people what you accomplished and what you have. He said, because there are people out there that are predators.
Yeah.
And there will find ways to do things to sabotage your success. So you can express your next goal or your next win or where you're trying to go to in the next 3 to 5 years. Hey, if it's dealing with real estate, with your broker and with your loan officer, he said you can share it sometimes with some of your family that are progressive, that are doing the same thing. He said, but other than that, he said, and shut your mouth.
Yeah. I
Because he said, and then he said, you're single. So people, he said, and you're dating. So you may meet someone that may not have what you have. They may have a good job or whatever, but they don't have property. You don't know what their means are to try to get to you, to get to what you have. He
and they
said,
could be
so
intimidated by it.
yeah,
I,
and
I,
then yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And then and he said, and the best thing you can do is once since you establish yourself in your property and everything, he said, don't leave it open for anyone to get to. Set it up. What is your plan if you're not here? Don't make your family go through this, that, and other. And I'm like, oh, okay. So as soon as everything was signed, sealed, and delivered, and maybe 4 or 5 months after I got everything straight, I set myself up in a trust, and it's earmarked directly how it's supposed to be dispersed, handled, and move forward. I didn't leave anything.
I think people, like, as far as friends, I think they do get intimidated by
Yeah.
a lot of things. You are a person, Tiffany, who's very good with keeping your finances financing. You're
Yeah.
good. And I remember during that time when you bought the duplex and you had a schedule, because I can remember it exactly. Whatever you could be loose with and you could be fluid with as far as your cash flow, you did. But when that ran out, you was like, nope, Patrice, I can't. Nope, Patrice, I can't. And if I say, well, Tiffany, nope, Patrice, I can't. And then what do you call what do you call it right now? Your boyfriend? You have to pay your boyfriend each month.
The IRS.
Tiffany, but Tiffany is really good from an economic standpoint, and I admire her for it. There are a lot of skill sets that she has that, yeah, I do wish that I had that skill or those attributes. When she tells me something, do I listen? I do. Do I do it? I don't. But I should. I mean, because at the time, I mean, everything be like, oh, I'd be like, Tiffany, oh, I need to do it. Like, I need to do that too. I need to do that too. But then, I'm just a different breed, and
what is this podcast called? It is what it is.
what it
It's
is.
gonna be. But see, my thing is, I think I get so blessed because I'm willing to share. If I find something out that is going to benefit the masses or more, it's my job and opportunity to share, because I can't do it for you, but I can deliver the information, and you can put minimum down and move forward doing that, and it will benefit you in the long run. The tortoise and the hare, that's my famous saying. It wins the race every single time. And when I do that, I win. When I don't do it, I lose every single time.
That is definitely Tiffany's saying about the tortoise and the hare. Life moves like the tortoise and the hare. Her finances move like the tortoise and the hare. And we all know who comes out to win every time.
That tortoise,
Yeah.
100%.
There were moments, like especially during quarantine, that which when I first met Tiffany, every time that she would say that, I'd be like, oh my God, this is not the tortoise and the hare. But at the end, she was always right. I'm not lying. She was always right, because it was all about going and I won't say slow, but it's about minimizing and doing the things in order, in a step, and trusting the process.
And timing and pace.
Yeah.
Timing and pace is everything.
Yeah.
It's everything in this world right now. Timing and pace. Like right now, the economy is upside down, but it's timing and pace. So, it's so funny. I just got off the phone earlier this morning before I went to a grocery store with my girlfriend that I've known forever, and her daughter is starting. She's like, I swear, my daughter, she must be yours, because she got like 3 or 4 businesses. I said, oh, I need to get off the phone. I put her on the phone. So I was talking to her. I said, okay, this is what you do. You need to do this, 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 this. You need this app to track your mileage for when you do this. And then make sure you print out your mileage either every month or you do it every quarterly, so that you're ready for when tax season comes, so you don't have to search for it. Then you do this, then you do this, and then, do this to send your invoices. And so she's like, oh, okay. I said, okay. I said, now you need about 3 different accounts. I said, your main account, these 2 other accounts to set this other stuff up, because you don't want to commingle your money. I said, so she's like, I said, and then I said, here's the tax guy. I was breaking it all down to her. And I said, after all that, you still need 1 more account. She's like, what's that? I said, you still need a high yield savings account. I said, because from each one of those accounts, you need to send yourself bi-weekly or monthly some money there. I don't care if it's $5, $2, or $3.
But that's the added value that you add to that friendship. That, to me, that's one of those things that, so give also, before we run out of time, that's also that part that kind of coincides with that number 5. You've outgrown who you were in the past. So you've outgrown all of those immature dealings, all of the things that you've learned to get you to where you are now. Exactly. And you start to acquire a different type of environment, different type of friendships, right?
Right.
So just like you just said, when you find out something, you feel like, that's what you need to share. And I'm glad that you do that. I may not do everything that you tell me, but I listen to that. There are a couple things like the high yield savings. I remembered, and I got one. But when you are able to add value because something has challenged you in your past, I would say Tiffany is good at challenging me from a rational set of thinking with finances, and even sometimes when it comes to her diet. Tiffany goes by a very good, healthy diet. Me, myself, I'm mostly Zuzus and Wham Whams, anything sweet. But when I'm talking to Tiffany and she's talking about, what she's putting together for her meals and whatnot, I just, in the back of my mind, I'll be like, damn, I'm just going to be fat forever. I just be thinking, I'm just going to be fat forever because I just love eating.
But the thing is with eating, you have to have movement. The movement is, and I'm learning more and more.
And you're working out now too, right?
Huh?
You're working out more now too, right?
I'm working out more, and I did more research. They say, oh, 10,000 steps, 10,000 steps only works off what you currently have and will keep you at status quo. Looking further into that, it says you need not 10,000, but 12,000 to 15,000 just to lose those extra 2 to 3 pounds. 20,000 steps or 30,000 steps will give you true weight loss.
Okay,
Will
so that
give
means,
you
so that
true
means,
weight loss.
so that means you guys, y'all need to get out there, get your steps, take a jog, go around the corner, whatever it
Or
is you
walk
need
in
to do.
place at home. There's a
That's
walk in place app on YouTube that the lady does little side steps, back, forth, side steps, circle, circle, side steps. And you do her little video 3 times, you got your 20,000 steps.
Well, I
And
know
it's,
now
yeah.
that I'm home, I go up and down my stairway a few times because my stairway kind of winds. So
Oh,
I go up and down that stairway. By the time I go up and down at least 2, 3 times, then another time, my watch just be going off with little stars and, oh, well, you got this
yeah,
today. You got
yep.
so,
It makes a difference, because if you think about it, even if you're watching a movie and you sitting down or whatever, get up and walk in place.
yeah, yeah.
And you will hit that number. And that's what I've been doing all my meetings during the day. Cause like, hey, Monday, Tuesdays are heavy meetings with me because I work from home too. I'm on speaker, hoping they don't call on me. I ain't got to run no meeting or talk about nothing. I'm walking in place. Got my little 5 pound, walking, doing my little,
The
walking
kettlebell.
in place, trying to get it together. Doing my little
I
twist,
got I'm
twist.
building up my little exercise room here. So I've got my kettlebells and my dumbbells. But so the last thing that I want to bring up before we close out on such a good topic, and I actually think that we may extend this topic to next week as well, because there's some other factors in here that, because of time, we're not going to be able to cover. But I'd like to have you bring on for our next recording, Tiffany. But the one thing that I want to leave on everybody's mind and everybody's plate, and we'll just say a hint of it, and then we're going to continue this part of it on our next recording. Is there a such thing as soulmates in friendship? I'm going to say that there is, because even though we have our ups and our downs, and sometimes she's a bitch from hell and I might be a bitch from hell for her, or she might get mad at me because of something I didn't say, but I didn't mean for it, and yada, yada, yada. I would say that my friend Aisha, would be my soulmate friendship. Because you're gonna have ups and downs. So I would say that yes, you can have a soulmate friendship. What do
I,
you?
I think so too. One of my guy best friends is, and people say, oh, you can't have a guy as a best friend. Yes, you can. And we don't talk often or consistently like we used to when we were in college. But let me tell you, when he had a major injury and was in the hospital for months, I was there every single day. And I told his mom, and he lives about like maybe 15 miles away from his mom. His mom and she's a senior. She would get on the freeway and she would be there in the morning. And when I get off work, tag teaming, I'm there. Mind you, he had a girlfriend and he had an ex-wife. And the girlfriend was there every day too, but I was there every day too. The ex-wife came like on the weekends or whatever, but I'm like, he was like, I was there through it all. Because when I got the phone call that one of his guys' best friends, and he's one of my best friends too, he couldn't talk to him and hadn't talked to him in a couple of days, and that was like, that's wrong, something ain't right. And then he had his kids that weekend, and his kids called and said, Dad didn't come home last night. We don't know where he's at. He had went to the gym and they don't know if he fell out from exhaustion, but he hit his head on the machine. And of course, they rushed him to ER. He hit his head really hard. Like I don't know if he fainted or whatever, but he put a hole in the back of his head and was unconscious, and his phone had died. he didn't have his ID or nothing on him, so they didn't know anything other than his name. And with the gym, his information has changed, so they couldn't contact any information because they had old information. Until one of the nurses said, I'm gonna bring my cord in to plug up his phone. I know somebody has to be calling him.
So basically, he's your soulmate friendship.
He's my soulmate friendship. Yes. Yes.
He's your
And we,
soulmate friendship.
yeah. And
Yeah.
push come to shove. Hey, he's I got several ride or die friends, but he's one of my ride or die friends to this day.
I like that. You guys, we are definitely going to have to continue the friendship conversation. If there's an expiration date on friendship, as well as soulmates in friendship. And we will have a couple others to join us on the next podcast recording. Remember that our showcase business for the month of April was Artemis Events with Grace Warfield. And that Instagram is Artemis, ARTEMIS Events 22 on Instagram. And for the month of May, we will be showcasing Rhonda Horton. Rhonda has a salon, and she's inviting new hairstylists and new barbers. Please check out the post on the Is What It Is podcast Instagram. The Ultimate Hair Studio presents Networking Chill. I think that's already over there. Yeah, because that's actually today, going on right now from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. At Ultimate Hair Studio. You guys check it out over there on Westheimer. Also, outside of hosting or showcasing Rhonda Horton for the month of May, we're also going to showcase a young up-and-coming culinary individual, and that's going to be Mary Lewis. You guys, she's brilliant. So check out her post also on the Is What It Is on the Is What It Is podcast page. So that way you can find out what she has offering for Mother's Day. I think she's got some wonderful Mother's Day baskets that are being offered. But again, I'm going to have Tiffany to take us out, because again, this is her co-hosting moment about friendships. So go ahead, Tiffany, take us out.
Well, I want to thank everyone for joining us today. And our topic today about friendships, whether or not they have an expiration date. And Patrice, I want you to have a great week.
Thank you.
I know I'm going to have a great week, because it is what it is. And it's going to be
what it's going to be. We have to say hey to Melinda. She's late joining us, but baby, she still made it happen.
Hey.
Are you on spring?
Is she on spring break?
What's her clothes at?
I'm just on life right now. That's it.
She said
All
she
right now.
Did you see her little zip lining video posted on
I saw.
You guys, Miss Mosley is one of our other co-hosts. You gotta check out her page. She is our Yoni Steam specialist, but she is lifing totally right now with her trip to Mexico. Please go check out her Instagram page and watch all the wonderful pictures. We all should be living life and enjoying it right now. So again, I'm gonna call you after I hang up, because we need to talk about your attire at this moment.
Uh-oh.
Oh, my little dress.
I'm joking.
Okay.
Joking. You're always cute. Okay,
Thank you.
you guys, thank you for joining us on Is What It Is podcast Instagram page, IWII podcast on Instagram. Check us out. We'll be back next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.